Before I put any more software on my virtual machine, I want to kind of get rid of a couple things here on the launch bar. I'm going to right click on this Amazon thing because I really don't need it. Who's to say if I'm going to need any of this Office stuff? This is Ubuntu's version of OpenOffice.org, if you're familiar with that. I will end up not using Firefox. I prefer Chrome myself. You can leave Firefox if you want. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up the Firefox browser. And I'm going to get to the Chrome download page and just do a download. Here we go. We're going to go to the download page itself, and it of course detects what we're navigating to it from. It knows that we're on Ubuntu, so we're going to say 64-bit. In my case, I'm going to say accept and install and install. This may take a couple of minutes. We're going to press OK here. Once everything is installed, you'll have a green check mark here that says installed. I'm going to click out of that, and then I'm going to click out of the Firefox browser. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring up our terminal. We're going to start using shortcuts right away. You're looking to learn how to do speed and be very quick and fast in everything that you do. It's just a matter of learning these things, and it's not hard. Your first command is Control-Alt-T. By pressing that, it will bring up a terminal window. Now what we're going to do is we're going to simply type Google-Chrome. And that should bring up our Google browser. And we're going to press OK because I do want it to be our default browser. You could have also pressed Enter. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and maximize the window. I don't need anything about getting started. I kind of know my way around here. While I'm here, I'm going to right click on the Chrome icon and lock it to the launch bar. And I'm going to remove Firefox from the launch bar. It's now time to install the rest of the LAMP stack. Before we actually install the first part of it, which is Apache, we need to update our apt-get program. So the first thing you'll do is open your terminal. Once again, that's Control-Alt-T. Once that's running, we're going to type in the terminal sudo. That means do the following command as root or super user. We're going to type apt-get, that is the name of the program we're going to be running, and we're going to type the argument for that. We're telling it to update itself. And because it's sudo, it will ask you for your password, and it will do this. This may take a couple of minutes, which is totally okay. Now that we're up to date in the apt-get program, let's use that same program. We're going to type sudo, again as a super user. We're going to type apt-get. And this time the command we're using in that program is install, and we're going to tell it what to install, in this case Apache 2. Press enter, and it's going to ask you a couple of questions. We're going to say yes. And now we're going to test that we have something, and we're going to open up Google Chrome again. Google-Chrome. That will open up Chrome for us. And now that we have this open, we're going to use another one, Control-L, and that will put the cursor in the URL bar, and we're just going to type localhost. And we, in fact, have Apache up and running. The next thing that we'll be installing is the MySQL installation. So we need to go back to the terminal. We've already got a terminal running. We can get to that program by pressing Alt-Tab, and that will bring up our terminal. And we're going to type sudo. That means apply this. Wait, something's wrong here. It looks like I am not actually in it, so what I'll do is I will exit out of that, or more importantly, I can just do a new one, Control-Alt-T, and there we go, we've got one running. We can go sudo apt-get install mysql-server and php-5-mysql. Now, what this command does, the first part of it, it says, I'm doing this as a super user. It will ask for your password. The next is apt-get. That's the name of the program we will be using. We're telling apt-get to install, and the next two arguments are the two things that we're installing. It's going to ask us for a password. And here we go again. The same as Apache, it will ask us questions and we're going to say yes. It's going to take 98 meg of space. We set that earlier when we were setting up the VirtualBox. And for all of this stuff, this is just a development machine, so I am not going to worry about passwords. That stuff can be changed later if we were moving into a production environment. So we'll just say OK every time it asks us a question like that. It's going to make sure that you want to do that. OK, we've installed the program itself. We now need to initialize it, and we're going to do that in the terminal. mysql _install _db. As you can see, I needed permission to do so, so let's run that same command as sudo. Except it's mysql install db. And it's telling you again to do a password, but we don't want to. The fact that we got here means that we were successful. We're going to run a setup script now, sudo, and we need to include a path to the installation. User, it's in the user folder, bin folder, and then inside of there, mysql _secure _installation. And we've got none. Let's see, set it ensures it just wants to make sure, and it is OK. Set root password, and that is the one that we did before. Let's get out of here and try that one again. I should have said no before. There is still a process running. Close the terminal, and I'm going to go ahead and close both of them while I'm here. And I'm leaving these mistakes here just because they're things that you may run into, and I want you to see the process of what happens. So I'm going to open a new terminal once again and try that last command that I just did. Sudo /user/bin/ mysql secure installation. That is more the password to do everything. Running all parts of the script. In order to log into MySQL, we'll need the current password for the root user. Enter current, and there is none. Okay, and now we're going to say no. By default, as an anonymous user allowing anyone to log into MySQL, you should remove them before moving into a production environment. And I'm just going to say no for now. We're not worried about production environments now. Now here we're going to say yes. Because it is a production environment, we're only going from localhost. So I'm going to say yes, and remove test database and access to it, yes. Reloading the privilege tables will ensure that all changes made so far will take effect, and we're going to say yes. All done. Just getting that all done and thanks for using MySQL means that we have a successful installation. It's now time to install our PHP module. If you already have a terminal open, that's fine. If not, we can open one by pressing Ctrl-Alt-T. Once we're up and running, we're going to use sudo here, and we're going to use the apt-get program, and we're going to install these things, and you have to be very careful about how you type these things. I'm going to go ahead and increase the size of this so that we can see everything. Sudo apt-get install php-5, and we also need a couple of libraries to go with it. The first one is lib apache 2 dash mod php-5. Mod stands for module, and then a space, and we're going to get another one called php-5-encrypt, and that allows us to use modern encryption algorithms. And of course we need our password, and this may take a second or two, and we're going to say yes. And I will go ahead and pause the recording. Now that we have PHP installed, we're going to restart the Apache server. We need to do this as root. So we've got sudo, and the Apache server resides in etc. init.d / Apache 2, and we're going to say restart. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to type a little bit of PHP. PHP comes out of the box with a little command line interface that you can use. That's set in the global scope. We'll get to more about what that means in a few moments, but for right now we're going to type PHP in the command line. That will access the PHP program, and we're going to type -r with a space, and now we're going to put in a little PHP command. So what we want to do is we want to have a new line because this will be output to the terminal, and we're going to say hello terminal. Let us get started. How's that? And I'm going to do 2 more new lines, except I forgot something, and that is, you know what? Can't do that I can't use the cursor like I had thought. So let's try this again. We forgot to put an echo in there. So the command is echo, new line, echo within double quotes, new line, hello terminal, and let's do another couple new lines, and we're going to close out the double quotes and terminate the statement as if we are in PHP. Now we have to end the line that we're in with the command line. And we should have something that says hello terminal. You see that it started a new line, hello terminal, another new line, another new line. That tells us that we have PHP running. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to change file precedence. As you well know, every server looks for a file called index.html first, but we're going to be working exclusively in PHP, so we want to save a little time in that. It may be only a couple of microseconds, but everything adds up. So we're going to say sudo. That means we're running the next program as an administrator or root user. And we're going to pull up the program Nano, which is a editing program that you can do in the command line. The file that we want to edit is called /etc apache2 mod s, or it's mods enabled. That's mods-enabled/dir for directory .conf directory dot, and that means configuration. So let's go ahead and open that up, and we'll see that it has a precedence here. You can see by moving around with a cursor, it starts with index.html, and then it goes to CGI, and then to it looks for Perl, and then it looks for PHP. And we've already got we also have an XHTML in there, an HTML, so on and so forth. So we're going to take out the index.php from there, and we're going to come back and put index.php in the beginning. Now the first thing it will look for now, once we get this saved, will be the index.php file. So we're going to hit Control X to exit out of the program. Remember, it's the left one. You can no longer use your right control key. And we're going to say save modified, yes. And confirm that that's the file we want to write. That's correct by pressing enter. And that is done. Now we need to look at adding a couple of modules. So we're going to just look at what is available to us. We can do that by typing apt-cache. And we're going to search for modules that begin with PHP-5-. And you're going to get a long list of some of the modules that are available to you. You may see some in there that you need, but specifically in order for Symfony to work, we need to make sure that we have curl up and running. For some reason, I also see mcrypt up in here. I thought I had downloaded that, but I will go ahead and make sure and do that again. So we're going to go sudo apt-get install. And remember, for installing more than one, we just separate it with a space. We need the curl module, php-5-curl, and php-5-mcrypt. And yes, we do. We want to go ahead and do all of this, and we are good to go. Now what we're going to do, just to test that everything is running okay, we're going to create a new file, and let's do this with Nano. So we're going to say, all right, Nano, let's open up this file. And what Nano will do is if it isn't there, it will create it for you. The place you need to put it is /var/www/html, and I'm going to call mine info.php. And it's a new file, so there's nothing in it, and we're going to do a little file here just as if we were editing in Sublime Text or PHP Storm or something like that, NetBeans, and we're just going to say PHP info, and we're going to Control X out of that. Remember, that's left control, and we're going to say, let's see, yes, by pressing enter. Permission denied. Let's see, did I not do that? I don't think I did that as sudo. So let's get out of here. I'm going to say no, and let's try that again. Sudo nano /var/www/html/info.php. let's try that again. And we're going to Control X, say yes, yes, and there we go. Now we should be able to go Google Chrome and it will pull up our browser. We've got some error going on there. I'll see what I can do to fix that. But now I want to get my cursor in the browser, so I do that by pressing Control L, and now I'm going to go localhost/info.php. And we have a current version of PHP running that we just installed. Congratulations!